The e-biofuels criminal prosecution involved a biofuel manufacturer that was lying and not making any biofuel, but buying it from others to get government credits they weren't entitled to. Well, since they weren't making any biofuels, what they would do is they would falsify all their sales records. And when the drivers would have to deliver product that had never been to the manufacturing plant in Indiana, they would fax them fake manifest documents, and the drivers referred to those as ghost loads. Well, the first thing that happened was EPA formed a team involving the Criminal Investigation Division, Office of Regional Counsel, and the Office of Mobile Sources. This case was obviously going to be way too big for EPA to handle alone, so we added agents from the FBI, the IRS, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. We had top-notch prosecutors from the Indiana U.S. Attorney's Office, Indianapolis, from the Environmental Crime Section at Department of Justice, and the SEC. They sold over $145 million in illegal biofuel, and we estimate that the profits from that was over $55 million. In 2013, 4 individuals were charged with lying to EPA, false claims to the U.S., wire fraud, obstruction, and money laundering. There were 4 officials from the biofuels company itself that were charged, as well as 2 individuals from the supplier of the biofuel. The supplier figured out what was going on and came to e-biofuels and said, from now on, I'm going to charge more than market rates for the biofuel you buy from me, so he cut himself in on the deal. The results were, so far, 2 of the biofuels executives have pleaded guilty, and one was sentenced to 5 years in prison, one received 6 years in prison. The supplier, actually, because of a criminal record, received 20 years in prison. All of them were required to jointly pay back $56 million in restitution, and they had to give up on some forfeited property, including Ferrari, a house, jewelry, artwork, and a piano. It was enormously complicated because the agents had to execute numerous search warrants in 3 states to get the case started, conduct interviews all over the country to get cooperating witnesses to tell us about the scheme that they knew about, and also assimilate millions of pages of records, electronic and hard copies, to just verify what the transactions were. But one of the most difficult tasks was taking all the sales records of genuine product that they had purchased from others and match it up with the sales to customers of the illegally sold credited biofuel. And by the way, this team's efforts was massive investment of energy and effort. My role in it was very minor compared to the efforts of all the agents and all the prosecutors that worked hard at this case.